Okay, so we were discussing how these cells undergo apoptosis, right? Now we will be discussing now what happens after cytochrome C has escaped from mitochondria. We will now be discussing, we know that cytochrome C, release of cytochrome C from mitochondria is a very good marker of apoptosis, right? But we should know what happens after cytochrome C is released from mitochondria, right? Listen, suppose this is a neuronal cell. Suppose this is a neuronal cell, okay, and through multiple pathways we have already discussed, which we have already discussed, what is this backs and back, right? Through multiple pathways cytochrome C has escaped, right? Now the point you need to understand is this: after the escape of cytochrome C, you will have to know something called, some proteins, okay? Now listen. These are the proteins which are present in the cytoplasm of every cell. These are the proteins associated with cytoplasm of every cell, and cytochrome C actually attacks this protein. Now listen, what is the name of this protein? Actually, these proteins look like this. When in cell they are present like this, but this protein actually looks like this. What is the name of this protein? This is called APOP. APOP1. Now listen, the full form of APOP is apoptosis protease activating factor 1, that is APOP1. Okay, apoptosis protease activating factor number 1. Now listen, very important point to understand is, in this domain cytochrome C sits, and this domain is known by the name of card domain. Okay, so there are two domains where in one of the domain cytochrome C sits, and this is called card domain. Now listen, whenever cytochrome C is released, then what will happen is, 7 APOP1. Remember always 7 APOP1. Oh, if you want to know how to draw APOP, if you know how to draw the activated APOP, you should always follow these simple steps: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now draw 7 lines, perpendicular lines. Now draw the cytochrome C sitting domain. Now listen, this is cytochrome C, cytochrome C, cytochrome C, cytochrome C, C, C and C. Now listen, when cytochrome C sits with, when cytochrome C is released, then it will actually form this type of complex. Okay, this is the card domain, that is the card domains are projected towards one side, and cytochrome C is protruding out. Cytochrome C domain is protruding out. This whole thing which is formed from cytochrome C, this whole thing is known as apoptosis. You know all these things. Apoptosis. This is apoptosis. That means 7 APOP1 together with cytochrome C form one apoptosis. Now listen, we will not obviously go into details. Now listen. Now this apoptosis converts procaspase 9 to caspase 9, and this procaspase 9 and this procaspase 9 will lead to the proteolytic cleavage of procaspase 3. Procaspase 3 to caspase 3. Okay, that means after the release of cytochrome C, we have already discussed how this cytochrome C comes into cytoplasm. After the coming out of cytochrome C, apoptosis is formed, and apoptosis converts procaspase 9 to caspase 9 and procaspase 3 to caspase 3, and this caspase 3 does a very basic thing which is actually killing the cell. That is, in nucleus of every cell there are proteins known by the name of lamins. Proteins are present in the nuclear membrane which are known as lamins. This caspase will attack lamins, and these lamins will be losing their identity, and this is how the nuclear membrane integrity is lost. And when this nuclear membrane integrity is lost, that means the genetic material actually is destroyed due to difference in pH, and that's why this cell as a whole dies. Okay, so this is the proper mechanism of intrinsic pathway of apoptosis. After we will have to take a break. Then after that we will be discussing the apoptosis of Caenorhabditis elegans. Okay, thank you.